2-1 against Pappy and then 2-0 Goblin. And Spirit is not an easy foe to go up against. Spirit only lost to Reynolds 2, so Spirit is absolutely looking like one of those next lot to make it through.
Yeah, no, absolutely. As we get into this, in the bottom left-hand side, our blue Terran player from StarStorm. This is Spirit.
And over in the top right, as our red Protoss, it is ShaDoWn. I know a lot of today has been about pronunciation, but I remember I always called ShaDoWn like ShaDoWn, but then apparently it's ShaDoWn.
ShaDoWn?
Did you?
I used to say ShaDoWn.
Did you? Yeah, ShaDoWn. That's what I always said, but apparently it was ShaDoWn.
Dune? Ah. Man, your name... Can we just, like, eliminate pronunciation? Can we just get one way to say things from forevermore?
No, as long as there are people on this planet calling oregano.
Oh, no, not again.
We can't eliminate pronunciation.
Maybe it's not just today that's been about pronunciation now. Thinking back to tomorrow. Tomorrow? Yesterday. Oh my God.
Pronunciation, vocabulary in general, the whole thing is a mess, is a muck. And that's what you get when you have me 3 days in a row, because I will be here tomorrow, Wardy. So, yeah, this game is starting off a little bit spicy here from Spirit. Yeah, because you won't be, right?
Yeah, I won't be. So you go have all the fun in your world tomorrow. You go to bed tonight, get ready to wake up and cause some trouble. I will have a nice, relaxing day without any pronunciation problems occurring.
Yeah, you need a vacation from me. Never mind, like from work, you know.
just from the coworker, yeah.
Yeah, I just saw an Ursadak on the field, and we do know that they are the main enemy of Protoss players, so already an unfortunate map choice for ShaDoWn. Oh, cheek proxy over here. I do like these kind of builds, man.
Yeah, cheeky little pile on the left-hand side, get very aggressive nice and quickly, and just get out across the map to start, putting some damage on. Now, this Reaper's obviously going to come up, and if ShaDoWn can stop this Reaper from seeing too much of the main, then Spirit obviously won't be able to notice that something is kind of out of place here, which is obviously kind of interesting as well.
Yeah, definitely. That Stargate very much proxied, and it's kind of funny, the dynamic with Oracles since the Cyclone change, that the Cyclones don't have as long range and don't deal as much damage to air units. Granted, they're maybe a bit more well-versed at other stuff, but definitely not better in single target fire against an Oracle. So I do like that ShaDoWn's bringing something like this, because he is a tricky, cheeky player. He can do the basic stuff, obviously, but he's also quite sneaky, quite good at this. And Spirit, for all intents and purposes, he's just... I kind of feel like he's a man of iron, like he's good at the macro. He'll start playing the late game before the late game's there, sometimes to his own detriment, but he's going to be very solid at this matchup. You have to be if you come from Europe.
Yeah, that's very true, right? Like, if you're if you're not good at TVP, then you're probably not high on the ladder. And for Spirit to be competing as the second best Terran in Europe, perhaps, or at least trying to vie for that title, then yeah, Protoss has to be a matchup you're very comfortable in, because you just play so many of them. And this Oracle now pops out, gonna head in toward the main base. Depot will give you a little bit of a heads up here. Cyclone is there, and that's an instant pushback, and stays locked on for a little while. That Oracle taking a lot of hits.
That did not do what he set it out to do, and Spirit is now very much in the know about what he's up against. He's already got a tech lab on the barracks, so we'll start producing. And he gets the confirmation that it's a second Oracle as well. This is a really nice start for Spirit.
Yeah, knowing that it's a second Oracle just tells you, okay, now I know where a bit more of your gas is going. I know you're still kind of doubling down on this to some extent. And it's not just like a super fast Twilight at home. Obviously, this Twilight could have been 20, 30 seconds earlier if you went Twilight before second Oracle, so you just know that, knowing these things. Again, knowledge is everything in StarCraft 2, and he really just picked up all the information he possibly could. Come on, we got to get at least one SCV, and we get one in the end, but man, these Oracles have really just took a beating trying to get anything done in the early stages.
Absolutely. Like, it's still not what you want, is it, if you're ShaDoWn? Like, You're against a Terran that's just very comfortable here. So far, he's kind of ticked all the boxes for how well he's doing on the defense. And I'm looking at the unit production here. He's already started Marauder production, like pretty damn early. A lot of the times you're just kind of making Marines and using all the gas on the other units, but that means once his bio push does start going, it's going to be very stocky. He's also late on the +1 weapons here. It kind of makes me think that he's almost forgot it, but Spirit's so good that I don't think he will have forgot it. He's just kind of saying to himself, all right, that actually takes longer than Stim and Combat Shield. So I'm just going to hit a timing before the +1. He does start it now, but I think with this amount of brutal units, you need to be more than ready to deal with this. And whether ShaDoWn is or not, I don't know at this point.
Yeah, we have this one Reaper here is just going to go after that pylon and has been hitting it for a while. So the Adept comes to get that. The Stalkers have backed away, so they're not going to try and take presence on the map as they were doing previously. The Oracles know exactly where this Bioforce is, knows exactly where Spirit is moving, so that obviously gives you the heads up. ShaDoWn should be able to be in position for any fight that happens in the next couple of moments at least.
Absolutely. It's quite a lot of Stalkers at the top of this ramp, and I do like that Protoss players have been utilizing stasis wards very nicely these days. Forge does start up for ShaDoWn, and he's got a very nice work account. Like, he doesn't have to worry too much if this game kind of stalls out a little bit. In fact, he just doesn't want to take any damage right now, because he is getting himself into a nice economic situation here without anything happening, and nice blink back micro as well. He didn't really take too much damage whatsoever.
Pylon goes down, ShaDoWn is supply blocked, so he is going to be struggling along there for a little bit as we continue to get a few more shots off. Some damage being done, +1 attack, couple Widow Mines, the command center, all coming through back at home for Spirit. And was just moving along nicely as he's even dropping up to the top side. So starting to split his army up, starting to look for some different directions. ShaDoWn seems to know about it, blinks, but did not get far enough forward, and Spirit just about stays alive.
I'll tell you what, though, seeing those Stalkers over there absolutely gives Spirit the go-go to start working on this gateway. I was a bit surprised he didn't go further. He did send one Marine in there just to kind of spot out what exactly is going on, and he's only got Stalkers to fight with here, Wardy. This is actually kind of dangerous.
Yeah, his army's not really good at all. I mean, Blink, Oracles into Blink is always a pretty volatile kind of way to play. You do see the Medivacs getting pushed back on the left-hand side, but this entire natural mineral line is just gone, completely deleted here, and Spirit still has the numbers to fight against the Stalkers that are coming in to defend.
Yeah, I mean, this is a brutal army. Like, those Marauders that he was making early really came in handy here, eh? They were very strong, and even the +1 that he's had, like, all the timings worked out for him, and he's fairly relentless. He's got his third up and ready to float over as well, and he's doing exactly that. Goes into the Ghost Academy. This is solid textbook Terran. Now he's got, is that 2 drops from 2 sides here?
Yeah, he's coming back in on the left-hand side. He's going to go into the main base. The recall in the main was a handful of Stalkers. A couple of Widow Mines burrowing up. Obviously, you can blink away from some of these mine shots. Oracle's going to eat the mine shot, though. Can't blink with an Oracle. And at the same time, just a few units on the left, getting rid of a few more probes. The damage just keeps on ramping up, and Spirit is just going to make sure he is really securing the lead in this game number 1.
You know, if I didn't have a name tag above, I'd be like, this is Clem playing TVP right now. Like, it's been very good, action-packed, in your face entirely. And now the work account being entirely flipped on its head. Now it's the Terran with 62 workers against 50. He's also gone straight into that Ghost Academy Wardy that we've talked about a lot earlier. Kind of, I don't want to say ignoring, but delaying that armory in the second engineering bay just to get out the Ghost that much faster. The Goats? I mean, they kind of are the Goats to a lot of people's eyes, I suppose. But yeah, this is not a good game for ShaDoWn right now.
You know, you went from elephants, now we're talking about goats, Ben. I mean, I feel like we've got animals on the brain as we have ourselves. Stalkers pushing through the center. Zelds coming across. They do not have charge for a few more moments. They are very sad until they have charge. Fortunately, that should happen before any commitment to a fight goes down. It's kind of ridiculous how slow Zealots are when you see this many of them walking across the map without charge. But there you do. You see that charge finishing. We're going to try and spread them out as ShaDoWn. Some ready to run to his third. Spirit's going to see him, so that's just easy pickings. Thank you very much. Still no upgrades, just about to finish +1 attack, but it just means that without armor, these Zelds are not very tanky. That's a killed 4th base, however, so ShaDoWn jumping on this natural and finding a little bit of firepower.
And Spirit is not about defending it either. He's like, you know what? I'm just going to go. If you're causing this to happen, you know, they've said never base race a Terran. I mean, I feel that was so long ago, and that is so many Widow Mines, Wardy, and oh my goodness. He just went Guy Fawkes on that probe line.
Yeah, man, it's maybe 1 day, 2 days too early, but you know, it's Friday night. We can start firing up some fireworks, and the Widowmine's doing exactly that. 12 SCVs, 16 probes going down, base train on either side. I mean, Spirit is holding on with a bunker even, just anything to buy him some extra time. There's nothing to really buy extra time on this side. Dark Templar just came in, though. We warped a few of them in, and so scans are going to continue to be very important here. We do have EMPs that can EMP up the DTs as well, as long as we keep the ghosts alive. That did not just happen there. And right now, it looks as though Spirit, there we go. We're going to finally get rid of these few DTs initially. But yeah, he's going to have to keep some scans available, otherwise he's in trouble.
He is, potentially. How many orbitals are still alive? Okay, he has two orbitals to keep the third one alive. He is out of scans for the time being, but I feel like ShaDoWn is out of life at this point. Like, even clearing up these Widowmines is going to be hard, because guess what, Wardy? I don't think he has a robo on the field.
Yeah, I don't think he has any way to see things, and Spirit did have another scan there, cleans up the last DT, finds himself game one. Got a little, you could argue maybe a little scary, but I think it was a good call because he was obviously a bit out of position on the bottom. He said, yeah, let's just base trade. ShaDoWn definitely didn't have the jump on Spirit to kind of say like, oh, I'm going to like kill a base and then recall home before you can do serious damage and just kind of take a net gain from this sort of, you know, setup. So because of that, I think it was a good call for Spirit to say, no, I'm okay to kind of base trade a little bit here. And yeah, the only thing that maybe got slightly complicated was the sudden arrival of DTs.
Yeah, I really like how Spirit played that game. You could tell he was feeling it, because when Stalkers were trying to pick off units, he was using a medevac just to pick up that unit and save it. He did it with the Cyclone early on and a Widowmine. Like, it was... I almost want to use the word unnecessary, but it's one of those moments where I can imagine myself playing against that guy. I'm like, goddamn try hard, like, you know, do it, playing good against me and stuff. But yeah, he was obviously feeling it and feeling good. You don't make those kind of plays unless you are feeling it, and that was just some really good Terran play. I saw XY earlier that did not impress me at all. He was just having a really bad day. Then we leveled up with Coffee playing really solid. But then I feel we leveled up again with Spirit's play just now in TVP, because that was real difficult Terran to go up against.
Yep. Oh, that was just like non-stop. And ShaDoWn, you know, good friends with Clem and does practice with Clem a fair amount, I imagine, but that felt as though he did not get to kind of stand on his own 2 feet. And like you said, I agree, really, it did feel like Clem play. It was just like bam, 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 you know? Just absolutely non-stop. And it was this guy in the top left that was doing all of that dropping from Storm Gaming. Definitely caused a storm in that game. It's Spirit.
And spawning over on the right, after some cheekiness with a Stargate, it is ShaDoWn. I got shown a game by Spirit kind of recently while I was streaming, and he was showcasing me because I was losing against some Protoss Wardy, and I was like, damn this matchup, damn it. And you know, I kept playing it all the time, and I was like, what else can I do against Protoss? And Spirit showcased me some Terran mech, very much like all about cyclones into ghosts, like very fast, and it was like, it was super damn cool. I haven't seen him whip it out in a pro game just yet.
How long ago was this? Genuinely, just out of curiosity.
Like, I think 3 days.
3 days ago? I think he's just having you on, mate.
You think so?
Yeah.
Because he was. Wait, why do you think he was having me on?
Because when we first started testing the patch, Spirit was all about the cyclones and meching and TVP, and like he genuinely like really believed in it. He did it all the time. And then after going 0-8 with his mech,
where did he go 0-8?
Test tournament in the patch when the patch first launched, he absolutely got destroyed. Haven't seen him do mech a single time since. Haven't even seen him like open cyclones and like into bio. I think he's just having you. I think he's trying to get you to lose some more games to Protoss, man. I don't know.
I was kind of thinking that because I was watching him. He showed me a game against Trigger. And, you know, I was thinking, Trigger's not bad at all. But Spirit, I would imagine, you know, you'd probably give him more trouble than not with your bio. Like, you're very good at this matchup. And it was a really hard game, you know. It was a really hard game with the Cyclone Ghost stuff.
That's exactly what happened when the patch dropped when Clem played. And he did some Cyclone stuff. I remember he played against Geralt. And Geralt's good, and Geralt can be competitive. But the way this game started, Clem opened like Cyclones, and he did like a lot of damage, you know. Like, he was very far ahead. And if Clem was playing bio, this game was over at 10 minutes. And at the 27-minute mark, Clem finally won the game. And this was after the map went to like every single base, and Clem was never behind. You know, like Clem was always leading. He could just never end the game. And so is the age-old problem with mech, is that you can basically never end the game. And the Cyclone, it's kind of weird in TV because it kind of feels like it should just shred things, and it can, until there's just enough Stalkers. Yeah, the Stalker count gets enough, and the Cyclones just start dropping so quickly. You know, and then the Stalkers blink, and the Cyclones really don't ever kill any of them, and it's just about getting the right amount of units up, and I think if you get there, it's very hard to see the Cyclones do anything.
It's also one of those things, like every Protoss unit has armor, and it's like it's so impactful, and then with sentries in the mix as well, the Guardian Shield actually impacting the rockets these days, it's like, you know, you're literally tickle beams, like super tickle beams, and you don't get much done. But ShaDoWn is got a very aggressive proxy this game with a gateway, and he is very close to his 3-gate setup here, which... In fact, is it going to be... Okay, 3 gates and a Robo back at home. The Robo very cautiously placed, but he definitely wants to pile on some pressure this game, doesn't he?
Yeah, obviously...
Cloak!
Oh, okay. So we're going to see... I was going to say, I kind of like it from ShaDoWn, because obviously the gateway pressure is very nice initially. Then I wonder about the Robo, because it's back at home, and I'm intrigued as to what he's going to get out from that Robo, if it's going to give him like a more macro transition, or if it's just going to get a Prism for more micro at the front, maybe hop into the main eventually. You can see the Cyclone able to lock on, and is in this case going to be, again, in lower numbers, very good. It gets rid of a lot of these Adepts. In fact, all these Adepts bar 1 go down for only 2 SCVs.
Yeah, I mean, ShaDoWn has to be very careful, because losing that many Adepts early on, like, look what Spirit's doing right now. He's got 3 production facilities, and they've all got their add-ons already done. Tank, Marine, Banshee, along with this Cyclone that's still left over. ShaDoWn has to keep either the pressure up or keep Spirit away from him, because the amount of units that are going to pop out against a 0-tech Protoss army, that is so problematic.
Yep, no, very true. As this Banshee comes around the top side from Spirit, just going to head over to the far right side of the map. The Prism coming back over with these few Stalkers, going to load up a few of those, and he's going to head into the main base where we can obviously aim for some more of them SCVs. Just going to be looking for that over the next few moments here. And yeah, the Adept firing up, getting a Marine kill, and the Prism into the main. So already kind of realizing this has to be kind of more of a kind of catch you out with the Prism play rather than just pushing at the front and outnumbering you. This Banshee's going to be killer though. There is obviously Observer potential, but even just showing up right now, the Stalkers warp in, you're going to lose a few probes already. And obviously the Stalkers don't have blink or anything, so you can just fly up into this main base, and the Stalkers have to take a little bit of a longer route to catch up. And that's just going to be painful as well, as we just lose more and more of these probes. Even going to sit the Banshee in the corner, keep it alive.
I mean, that went about as not bad as it could for ShaDoWn, right? Like, the Observer was right there to pop out, and luckily he did have his warp in. He is very supply blocked right now, though. Kind of feeling that maybe the pressure of the game's getting to him a little bit, and he did a good job of getting that Warp Prism in there, slowing down this approach that was kind of inevitable. But now, that supply block really stunted his growth, and it was happening at kind of the worst time for him, I feel.
Yeah, no, a very, very good point is it just blocks you at a horrible time, especially as now Spirit's going to get across the map. If you can just get this tank siege, remember these Stalkers are still blinkless, so they can't just blink on top of the tanks and close the distance before taking shots. They're going to take shots on the way in, and Spirit just sets straight up onto this third base. And I think this is... third base is definitely going to die. Is ShaDoWn going to try and save it? Yes, he is. Spirit will just finish off the Nexus. Now he'll turn to take as many units as he can. Obviously, trying to retreat away, he is probably not going to be too hot of an idea. The Immortal gets into range. This next siege tank is just move commanding through. Finally going to start target firing some Stalkers. Don't get me wrong, we get honestly quite a lot here from Spirit as well. He loses everything, but the damage is really done. Plus now still Banshee in the main base getting even more damage dealt.
Yeah, look at that income tab, Wardy. Like 900 minerals per minute, 300 gas against 2... Like, Spirit's doubling him at this point. Like, he's so comfortable back at home. He's actually equal on workers. The tech as well. The tech is still fairly minimal from ShaDoWn. Like, he has the blink up and running, obviously, but everything else, he's going to be against stimmed bio with +1 and tank support. It's a pretty brutal game for him.
Yeah, no, I mean, just a lack of a third, so you're not really on the economy you're meant to be at. The Terran player is just going to add on 2 more barracks, so, you know, we're seeing Spirit essentially double down on, hey, I've put you behind, and now I'm going to double down and putting you even further behind. Maybe diving towards, like, Storm would be one of his better options. You know, maybe a lot of charge loss and just Archon, just because that's a very tanky force, but I'm not sure he's ever going to quite match Spirit's production. which is going to be the problem, because then Spirit's going to be in a very good spot as, again, these Stalkers get a couple of SCVs, but they're still a significant portion of the way behind, just because the third isn't done. So yeah, the 12 worker lead is kind of where Protoss wants to be against Double Mule, but then the third isn't there to mine just yet, and by the time it is, I think Spirit's going to be pushing.
Yeah, I tell you, ShaDoWn's been really good with his Warp Prism micro this game. Like, both harassing, just to keep his units alive and just dealing damage, but also that big fight over there, that could have went way worse against those 3 tanks and Banshee.
Yeah.
And ShaDoWn, again, he was suffering from a supply block here, so definitely getting caught out a little bit. And is this the Banshee again in the base? Or is it, this must have been a different one, eh? Yeah, it's a different one. This full health Banshee, getting some probe kills. Lovely play.
Banshee number 3 of the game, actually, so just gonna nab 5. Actually has 6 kills on it in total. It's gonna come back in the main as well, and ShaDoWn didn't realize it turned back around, so nothing is nearby. And again, this just keeps adding up. Just as ShaDoWn was maybe starting to get that third base up, secured, mining, you know, but once again now not mining the main base, we're taking damage as we go. Banshee is gonna survive as well, and again, just pain for ShaDoWn, who just keeps on taking damage.
He's going to have to really pray to the Storm gods, isn't he, for this game? He does have Storm available, and he does have a few High Templars on the field, but that army that Spirit is rocking, that is a Terran army. Like, that's the one that you're all... Whenever you play Terran, you're like, oh, how am I going to play it? This. Like, Stim, Bio, Tanks... And Spirit's very good micro-wise, and ShaDoWn, he knows he needs more time right now, and he's dealing good damage again with this Warp Prism, man. He's been really good with it this game, Wardy.
Prism has been fantastic. It's been such a lifesaver. If it wasn't for that Prism, this game would have actually absolutely already been Spirit's. Now, with the Prism buying you some time, and also on the other side, seeing that, you know, seeing on the other side that we're essentially having Storm ready, you can kind of see the pathway to kind of dealing with this game, right? As the first Storm doesn't land, the Medivacs eat a lot of that Storm. We're going to have to be careful in the future. The tanks are a big problem right now. The Immortals cannot close the distance to get on top of those tanks. The only good news is that those tanks are a little bit far away to hit the base. So, for the moment at least, ShaDoWn has some time to set up and to try and figure out his answer. So, as some Storms available, as Spirit uses yet another Stim, killing probes once again. As here we go, the Zealots are going to start coming through. The Immortals are going to go for those siege tanks, but the tanks are target firing down Stalkers, Immortals, and just... Yeah, we're kind of running out of those tanky Zealots that we need to sort of support everything else as Spirit crashes through for the 2-0.